Welcome back, American coin hunter. The 1995 D. Lincoln cent holds a fascinating place in the world of American coin collecting, not only because of its historical significance, but also because of its remarkable variations and errors that have captured the attention of collectors and numismatists around the globe. The Lincoln cent, also known as the penny, was first issued in 1909 to commemorate the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth, making it the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure rather than an allegorical representation of liberty. The 1995 D cent continues that tradition, preserving the legacy of Lincoln while also introducing rare minting anomalies that can make a single coin worth thousands of dollars in the right market. The 1995 D penny was produced at the Denver Mint, denoted by the small d mint mark just below the date, a tiny letter that belies the huge difference it can make to collectors. The Denver Mint produced a substantial number of these coins, over 10 billion in total for the year, making the standard 1995 D cent relatively common and easy to find in circulation. However, within this mass production, there exists a subset of coins that display errors such as doubled dies, off-center strikes, repunched mint marks, and die cracks, and these errors transform an otherwise ordinary penny into a highly sought-after collector's item. Among these, the most famous is the 1995 D doubled die obverse, where the doubling of Lincoln's portrait and the inscriptions on the coin can be seen when viewed closely under magnification. This doubling can appear on the date, the motto, "In God We Trust," or the word liberty, and coins exhibiting these characteristics can sell for hundreds to thousands of dollars depending on condition, provenance, and rarity. The 1995 D. Lincoln cent features the familiar Lincoln Memorial design on the reverse, designed by Frank Gasparro, which had been in use from 1959 to 2008. This design replaced the original wheat ears reverse used from 1909 to 1958 and provides a symbolic tribute to Lincoln's enduring legacy. The obverse features a right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, whose initials VDB were famously removed from the 1909 cents after controversy and later reinstated in a smaller form on the obverse. The Lincoln cent measures 19.05 millimeters in diameter and weighs 2.5 grams, composed primarily of zinc with a thin copper plating. Its composition and dimensions are consistent with the modern penny standards established in 1982, when the U.S. Mint shifted from predominantly copper cents to a copper-plated zinc core due to the rising cost of copper. Despite its small size, the coin's value is greatly influenced by errors, mint marks, and its condition, especially when preserved in mint state or as an uncirculated specimen. Collectors pay careful attention to the strike quality, luster, and any imperfections that could indicate a rare error, and the 1995 D. Lincoln cent offers several possibilities for those seeking significant additions to their collections. Error coins like the 1995 D double die penny have an interesting history that connects them directly to the production process at the Denver Mint. During the minting process, dies are used to strike designs onto blank planchets, and any misalignment, damage, or repeated impression on a die can produce a doubled image on the coin. These doubled die errors occur when the die itself has a doubled impression, often due to misalignment during the hubbing process, and every coin struck from that die carries the error. The 1995 D double die obverse is particularly appealing because the doubling is visually obvious on certain coins, making it easier to identify without specialized equipment. Coins exhibiting this error are usually found in higher grades, such as MS65 or MS66, with sharp detail and original luster, which greatly increases their market value. The rarity of these error coins is further amplified by the fact that only a small percentage of the billions minted carry the doubling, creating an exciting hunt for collectors and investors alike. The market value of a 1995 D. Lincoln cent with a recognized error can be staggering. While common circulated specimens may be worth only face value, those with significant errors can fetch anywhere from hundreds to several $1,000s in the numismatic marketplace. Recent auction data has shown that certain top-grade examples with pronounced double dies or repunched mint marks have sold for well over $1,000, with some unique specimens commanding prices approaching $10,000 when in pristine condition and accompanied by professional authentication from services like PCGS or NGC. The high value is a direct reflection of the coin's scarcity, condition, and collector demand. In total, the 1995 D. Lincoln cent error market contributes to the estimated cumulative value of all such coins reaching hundreds of millions, with some sources estimating the total collectible value in the market for 1995 D. Lincoln cents with errors at approximately $261 million. An astonishing figure for a coin that originally cost only 1 cent. Collectors are drawn to the 1995 D. Lincoln cent not only for its financial potential, but also for its fascinating design and historical significance. The Lincoln portrait itself is a masterful rendering, capturing the somber dignity and determination of the 16th president. The details in Lincoln's hair, beard, and facial features are incredibly fine, making collectors of 1995 D. Lincoln cents often focus on subtle details that reveal the coin's unique characteristics and errors, and this attention to detail is what separates casual hobbyists from serious numismatists. One of the most striking features of the 1995 D penny with a doubled die obverse is the way the doubling affects Lincoln's profile and the surrounding inscriptions. When observed under proper lighting and magnification, one can see a shadowed or slightly offset image along the left side of the letters and numerals. This doubling is caused by a misalignment of the hubbing process at the mint, a highly technical error that occurs when the design die receives multiple impressions that are not perfectly aligned. The phenomenon is fascinating not only because of its rarity, but also because it demonstrates the intricacy and complexity of coin production. Each doubled die coin is a testament to the delicate balance required in minting millions of coins while maintaining precision, and it is this rarity that drives collector demand and high market value. The presence of a pronounced doubled die on a 1995 D penny instantly elevates it from a common circulating coin to a collectible item, and coins in higher grades, such as MS65, MS66, or MS67, can command significantly higher prices due to their pristine condition and sharp detail. The weight and composition of the 1995 D. Lincoln cent also play an important role in its identification and value. The coin weighs 2.5 grams and has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters, composed primarily of a zinc core with a thin copper plating. This change from the pre-1982 mostly copper cents reflects the U.S. Mint's response to rising metal costs and ensures that the penny remains economically feasible to produce. Despite its small size and light weight, the 1995 D cent carries tremendous historical and monetary significance when it features an error. In some instances, collectors have even discovered off-metal or clipped planchet variations, where the coin is improperly cut from the metal strip or contains slight variations in alloy composition. These additional anomalies further increase the rarity and value of the coin, as collectors prize deviations from standard specifications. Each tiny variation or imperfection on a 1995 D penny becomes a story, a snapshot of a moment in the production process at the Denver Mint, preserved in metal for decades and appreciated by coin enthusiasts worldwide. One fascinating aspect of the 1995 D. Lincoln cent is the way the coin's errors can be graded and evaluated for condition. Coin grading is an essential component of numismatics, providing a standardized assessment of a coin's quality and market value. Professional grading services like PCGS and NGC examine coins for strike quality, luster, surface preservation, and the presence or absence of contact marks, scratches, or cleaning. For error coins such as doubled dies, the clarity and prominence of the doubling significantly influence the grade. A well-preserved 1995 D doubled die cent with sharp, unmistakable doubling and original luster may receive a high grade, such as MS66 or MS67, while a coin with weak doubling or minor wear will be graded lower, affecting its market value. Collectors often seek coins that not only exhibit an error, but also maintain exceptional condition, as these coins represent the pinnacle of both rarity and quality. The combination of error type, rarity, and grade can transform a coin worth mere cents in circulation into a collector's gem valued in the thousands of dollars, contributing to the estimated $261 million market for 1995 D error cents collectively. The history of the Lincoln cent itself adds an extra layer of fascination to the 1995 D variety. Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, is widely regarded as one of the nation's greatest leaders, and his image on the penny has become a symbol of integrity, perseverance, and American heritage. Victor David Brenner's design captures Lincoln's stoic expression and thoughtful gaze, immortalizing him in metal for over a century. The Lincoln Memorial Reverse, designed by Frank Gasparo, further reinforces the coin's historical significance, portraying the iconic Washington, D.C. monument with precise architectural detail. The combination of artistic achievement and historical context makes the 1995 D. Lincoln cent more than just currency. It is a small piece of American history, linking the everyday act of handling money to a broader narrative of national identity and legacy. For collectors, this connection enhances the appeal of any error or unique specimen, making the hunt for a rare double die or repunched mint-mark coin both intellectually engaging and emotionally rewarding. The market for 1995 D. Lincoln cents with errors is dynamic and fascinating, reflecting both the rarity of the coins and the fluctuating demand among collectors and investors. Auctions and online marketplaces regularly feature examples of double die and repunched mint-mark coins, with prices determined by factors such as error prominence, grade, and provenance. Some of the most valuable 1995 D cents have been sold in specialized numismatic auctions for several $1,000s, particularly when certified and graded by top-tier authentication services. The $261 million market estimate reflects the cumulative value of all error and high-grade specimens, highlighting the tremendous financial potential of these small coins. For collectors, investing in 1995 D error cents offers a unique combination of aesthetic enjoyment, historical significance, and potential financial reward. Unlike other collectibles that may fluctuate unpredictably, the market for high-quality error coins has shown consistent interest over decades, driven by the coin's scarcity, provenance, and inherent connection to American history. Collectors often approach the 1995 D. Lincoln cent with a strategic mindset, balancing both aesthetic appreciation and financial potential. Serious numismatists understand that while the face value of the penny is 1 cent, its value as a collectible is determined by rarity, error type, and condition. Many collectors create focused collections based on specific error types, such as double dies, repunched mint marks, off-center strikes, or die cracks. The 1995 D cent is particularly appealing because it encompasses a variety of these errors in a single year, making it possible to assemble a highly specialized and valuable collection entirely from one mint in 1 year. Those building such collections often rely on reference guides, certified auction results, and authentication services to identify genuine examples. They pay meticulous attention to small differences in doubling angles, letter spacing, and mint mark placement, because even minor variations can differentiate a common error from a rare and highly sought-after specimen. The hunt for these coins becomes an intellectual challenge, combining historical research, visual analysis, and knowledge of minting processes. Professional grading plays a pivotal role in the 1995 D. Lincoln cent market, as it provides a standardized method to assess condition and ensure authenticity. Grading companies like PCGS and NGC meticulously evaluate coins on multiple factors, including strike sharpness, luster, surface preservation, and the prominence of the error itself. For double-die pennies, the clarity and visibility of the doubling are crucial for assigning grade and value. A coin exhibiting crisp, dramatic doubling in the date and letters will command a premium, especially if it is preserved in mint state condition. Coins that have been circulated or show signs of wear, scratches, or cleaning will be graded lower and, as a result, have lower market value. High-grade specimens often achieve certification as MS65, MS66, or MS67, reflecting both the pristine state of the coin and the prominence of the error. Collectors are willing to pay substantial sums for coins in these grades, knowing that the combination of error rarity and high condition represents a secure and potentially appreciating investment. Historical context adds further intrigue to the 1995 D. Lincoln cent. The Lincoln penny has been a fixture of American currency for over a century, first introduced in 1909 to commemorate Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. The coin was revolutionary for its time, as it marked the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure rather than an allegorical representation of liberty. Brenner's design of Lincoln's portrait captured the president's dignity and character, and it has endured through multiple design modifications over the decades. The reverse, featuring the Lincoln Memorial since 1959, honors one of the nation's most iconic monuments and symbolizes Lincoln's enduring legacy. The 1995 D. Lincoln cent exists within this continuum, preserving tradition while also introducing opportunities for rare errors. Each 1995 D. error coin, whether it be a double die, off-center strike, or repunched mint mark, is not just a collectible. It is a piece of history, connecting the owner to the artistic, technical, and historical significance of American coinage. Market dynamics for the 1995 D. Lincoln cent are fascinating, reflecting both collector interest and investment potential. Error coins, particularly those with significant doubling or unusual features, tend to appreciate over time because they are inherently scarce. Unlike regular circulation coins, which are abundant, error coins are limited by the unpredictable nature of minting mistakes. Once discovered, these coins can quickly gain recognition in collector circles, with prices determined by demand, rarity, and condition. Auction results provide concrete examples of the potential value. For instance, 1995 D double die obverse pennies in mint state condition have sold for several $1,000s, while coins with repunched mint marks or strong die cracks can fetch similar premiums. The cumulative effect of these high-value coins contributes to an estimated $261 million market for collectible 1995 D. Lincoln cents, highlighting both the broad interest in these coins and the economic significance of rare error specimens. Investors recognize this potential, making error pennies a unique intersection of history, art, and financial strategy. Collector strategies often involve both search and acquisition. Many enthusiasts begin by examining rolls of circulated pennies, scanning for visible doubling, misaligned mint marks, or irregular strikes. The thrill of finding a rare 1995 D error in circulation adds an element of adventure and personal satisfaction, connecting the collector to the broader story of American currency production. Others focus on purchasing coins through certified auction houses or dealers, prioritizing authenticated examples with professional grading to ensure the integrity of their collection. Advanced collectors may analyze die varieties, cross-referencing known double die patterns or repunched mint mark positions to identify rare specimens that may not yet be documented. This investigative approach combines historical research, analytical observation, and market knowledge, making the collection of 1995 D. Lincoln cents an intellectually engaging pursuit. The allure of error coins like the 1995 D double die is further enhanced by the visual impact of the anomaly. On the obverse, the doubling of Lincoln's profile, the date, and inscriptions creates a striking effect that is immediately recognizable under magnification. Collectors often describe the sensation of seeing the doubled lines for the first time as electrifying, a moment of discovery that reinforces the connection between historical significance and personal achievement. The visibility and quality of the doubling influence market value, with sharp, well-defined errors commanding premium prices, particularly in uncirculated grades. These coins are often highlighted in numismatic publications, auction catalogs, and collector forums, increasing awareness and demand for top-grade specimens. The resulting scarcity of high-quality error coins ensures that the 1995 D. Lincoln cent remains a focal point of collector interest, combining beauty, rarity, and historical significance in a single small coin. The excitement surrounding the 1995 D. Lincoln cent is amplified by the record of notable sales and auction results. Over the past decades, numerous double-die obverse and repunched mint-mark specimens have been sold for remarkable sums, demonstrating the strong demand and market appreciation for these coins. One particularly famous example is a 1995 D double-die penny that exhibited dramatic doubling across the date, the word "liberty," and the phrase, "In God We Trust." This coin, preserved in MS-66 condition, was auctioned by a prominent numismatic auction house and fetched a price exceeding several $1,000s, illustrating the premium collectors are willing to pay for coins with prominent, well-preserved errors. In addition, coins with repunched mint marks, where the D mint mark appears slightly displaced or stamped more than once, have also achieved significant attention. Some of these examples have sold for prices that far exceed typical Lincoln cents, particularly when accompanied by professional certification from grading services like PCGS or NGC. The historical provenance of these coins, combined with their rarity, helps maintain consistent interest in the market and supports the $261 million estimated total value of collectible 1995 D. Lincoln cents. The appeal of the 1995 D. Lincoln cent extends beyond its error varieties to include its role in illustrating the minting processes at the Denver Mint. Understanding how these errors occur requires knowledge of coin production techniques, including die creation, hubbing, and striking. During the hubbing process, the design of the coin is impressed onto a die multiple times to ensure full detail transfer. If a die receives misaligned impressions, a double die is created, and every coin struck from that die exhibits the same doubling. Similarly, repunched mint marks occur when the mint mark is stamped more than once or slightly displaced during production, creating subtle or pronounced variations. Off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and die cracks are other anomalies that collectors study carefully, each with its own degree of rarity and market value. For enthusiasts, these coins offer a tangible connection to the meticulous and sometimes imperfect process of coin production, allowing them to appreciate the artistry and precision required to create what appears, at first glance, to be an ordinary 1-cent coin. Collectors often compare the 1995 D. Lincoln cent to other years and mint errors to gauge rarity and value. For instance, earlier Lincoln cents with known double dies, such as the 1955 double die or the 1972 double die obverse, are highly sought after and can command prices far exceeding modern error coins. However, the 1995 D double die has its own distinctive appeal due to its modern minting context high-quality strikes, and relatively large population of collectors actively searching for it. Compared to other Denver minted pennies of the 1990s, the 1995 D stands out for the frequency and visibility of its errors, making it a focal point for specialized collections. Collectors often maintain detailed records of error coins, documenting their features, market prices, and provenance to better understand trends and identify potentially undervalued specimens. This meticulous approach underscores the seriousness of collecting 1995 D Lincoln cents and highlights the educational value inherent in studying coin production, minting errors, and market behavior. Famous sales of 1995 D Lincoln cents often serve as benchmarks for collectors, illustrating both the desirability and market potential of high-quality error coins. Auction catalogs frequently feature top-grade examples with detailed photographs highlighting doubling, die cracks, or repunched mint marks. The sale of a single MS-67 double die obverse coin can influence market perception, raising awareness of the rarity and driving demand for similar specimens. Online marketplaces have further expanded access, allowing collectors around the world to participate in buying, selling, and trading 1995 D error coins. The combination of auction results, private sales, and online commerce ensures a dynamic and transparent market, enabling collectors to make informed decisions about acquisition and investment. Coins that are authenticated and certified command the highest prices, providing confidence to buyers and reinforcing the importance of professional evaluation in the numismatic world. The detailed analysis of errors on the 1995 D Lincoln cent reveals why collectors value these coins so highly. 4 double die obverse pennies. The most prominent feature is the shadowed or offset doubling of Lincoln's portrait, date, and inscriptions. The visibility of the doubling can vary from subtle to dramatic, with coins exhibiting pronounced doubling commanding higher premiums. In some cases, collectors focus on the doubling in specific areas, such as the "In God We Trust" motto, because the prominence of doubling in this region is rarer and more noticeable. Repunched mint marks are similarly studied for alignment, depth, and clarity, as subtle variations can make the difference between a moderately valuable coin and a highly prized collectible. Die cracks, clipped planchets, and off-center strikes are evaluated based on severity and visual impact. Collectors often use magnification, lighting techniques, and comparison with reference specimens to accurately identify and classify these anomalies, emphasizing the combination of skill, patience, and knowledge required to navigate the 1995 D Lincoln cent market successfully. The 1995 D Lincoln cent also provides an opportunity to explore the broader educational and historical aspects of numismatics. By studying error coins, collectors gain insights into the technology, human factors, and quality control challenges at the U.S. Mint. They learn about die creation, the precision required in hubbing and striking, and the factors that can result in misaligned designs or repeated impressions. This knowledge fosters a deeper appreciation for coins as both functional currency and artistic expression. Furthermore, error coins like the 1995 D Lincoln cent serve as historical artifacts, capturing a moment in minting history and preserving it for future generations. Each coin tells a story not only about the president it commemorates, but also about the people and processes involved in producing American coinage, connecting collectors to a rich tradition of craftsmanship and national heritage. Market trends indicate that the demand for 1995 D Lincoln cents with errors remains strong, driven by a combination of scarcity, visual appeal, and historical interest. While circulated pennies are abundant and carry minimal monetary value, error coins represent one of the most thrilling aspects of collecting 1995 D Lincoln cents with errors is the personal stories and discoveries that accompany these coins. Many collectors recount the exhilaration of finding a valuable double die or repunched mintmark penny in a roll of coins pulled from circulation. Unlike other collectibles that are often purchased pre-graded or pre-screened, finding a high-value 1995 D penny in a jar of everyday change creates a moment of discovery that is both emotional and financially rewarding. These stories often circulate within collector communities and forums, inspiring both new and seasoned numismatists to search meticulously for errors. The personal connection established through the act of discovery enhances the value of the coin beyond its monetary worth, making each specimen not just a collectible, but a cherished artifact of a collector's journey. Investment strategies for 1995 D. Lincoln cents vary widely, reflecting the diverse approaches within the numismatic community. Some collectors focus on acquiring multiple examples of error types to ensure they have representative specimens of all known variations. This strategy emphasizes completeness and knowledge, appealing to those who want to create reference-quality collections. Other investors prioritize condition over type, seeking the highest graded examples of doubled die or repunched mint-mark pennies to maximize market value. High-grade coins in MS65 or higher condition are particularly prized, as these specimens demonstrate both rarity and preservation. Professional certification plays a crucial role in investment strategy, as buyers are willing to pay a premium for coins verified and graded by top-tier services like PCGS or NGC. Authentication provides confidence, ensures marketability, and protects the long-term value of the collection. In some cases, collectors will even acquire multiple coins of the same type to diversify risk, knowing that subtle differences in grade or error prominence can affect future resale prices. Condition-specific valuations of the 1995 D. Lincoln cent demonstrate the dramatic impact that preservation and strike quality have on market value. Circulated examples with light wear may be worth only face value or a few dollars, even if they carry minor doubling or repunched mint marks. In contrast, uncirculated coins, particularly those with strong doubling or a well-centered repunched mint mark, can achieve values in the hundreds or thousands of dollars. MS65 examples of the 1995 D double die obverse, with crisp details and full luster, are especially valuable because they combine both visual appeal and scarcity. Coins graded MS66 or MS67, though rarer, achieve even higher premiums, as collectors seek specimens that represent the pinnacle of quality. The careful observation of strike, surface quality, and luster is critical in assessing these coins, and minor imperfections can significantly affect valuation. Understanding the interplay between error type, grade, and market demand is central to collecting and investing in 1995 D. Lincoln cents. Anecdotes of error discovery add color and depth to the story of the 1995 D. Lincoln cent. For instance, collectors have shared accounts of receiving a roll of pennies from a bank, only to discover a doubled die obverse coin staring back at them under magnification. The initial disbelief, followed by careful examination and confirmation of the error, creates a lasting memory that underscores the excitement of numismatics. Similarly, some collectors have found repunched mint-mark pennies in circulation, often hidden among thousands of ordinary coins. These discoveries highlight the rarity of error coins and the importance of meticulous observation, patience, and dedication. The personal narratives surrounding error coins enhance their allure, making the 1995 D. Lincoln cent not only an object of financial interest, but also a vessel for stories, history, and human connection. Collector education is another critical aspect of the 1995 D. Lincoln cent's appeal. Many enthusiasts invest significant time in learning to identify subtle doubled dies, repunched mint marks, off-center strikes, and other anomalies. Reference books, online guides, and professional training all play a role in developing the skills necessary to distinguish between genuine errors and ordinary coins. This educational process is rewarding in itself, as collectors gain a deep understanding of minting processes, historical context, and coin evaluation techniques. The knowledge acquired also enhances market confidence, as collectors can make informed decisions about acquisition, grading, and investment. The study of 1995 D. Lincoln cents thus combines intellectual engagement with practical financial strategy, making it a compelling pursuit for both hobbyists and investors. Market trends indicate that interest in the 1995 D. Lincoln cent continues to grow, driven by both scarcity and recognition of the coin's historical significance. The consistent discovery of new examples, particularly in uncirculated condition, sustains collector enthusiasm and ensures a dynamic market. Coins with well-defined double dies or pronounced repunched mint marks are quickly recognized and valued appropriately, reflecting the ongoing demand for quality specimens. Auction results and online sales provide tangible evidence of market strength, with coins in top grades commanding substantial prices. The estimated total market value of collectible 1995 D-error cents, around $261 million, underscores the significance of this coin within the numismatic community. Collectors and investors view these coins as both tangible history and a viable financial asset, balancing aesthetic enjoyment with potential for appreciation over time. The 1995 D. Lincoln cent also provides a platform for exploring numismatic innovation and minting technology. Modern minting techniques, while highly precise, still allow for occasional errors, creating opportunities for collectors to acquire rare and valuable coins. The existence of double dies, repunched mint marks, and other anomalies illustrates the delicate balance required in producing millions of coins with consistency and quality. Studying these coins offers insight into the engineering, skill, and artistry behind the minting process, highlighting the human element inherent in coin production. Each 1995 D. Lincoln cent with an error becomes a lesson in minting history, connecting collectors to the technical challenges and achievements of the Denver Mint and the broader history of American coinage. Finally, the emotional appeal of the 1995 D. Lincoln cent cannot be overlooked. Collectors often describe a deep sense of satisfaction and pride when acquiring a rare or high-grade example, particularly when the error is visually striking or historically significant. The combination of discovery, knowledge, and as the fascination surrounding the 1995 D. Lincoln cent with errors continues to grow, collectors and researchers delve deeper into the technical world of die varieties, examining the microscopic subtleties that separate ordinary coins from extraordinarily rare pieces. The study of die varieties is a discipline that requires immense patience and a trained eye, as the smallest deviation in engraving, spacing, or alignment can reveal an entirely separate classification of error. In the case of the 1995 D cent, the doubling on certain examples is not always obvious to the casual observer, but under magnification, it becomes clear that the machines used in the Denver Mint during that period occasionally created secondary impressions that left behind faint yet unmistakable traces of doubling on the lettering, date, or portrait. Collectors spend hours comparing known varieties with potential new discoveries, sometimes documenting differences that were previously unnoticed, contributing to a growing catalog of variations that add to the allure and historical importance of the coin. This coin serves as a window into the minting practices of the mid-1990s, a transitional era in U.S. numismatic production where technological advancements were being introduced, but human oversight and mechanical inconsistencies still played a considerable role. The Denver Mint produced over 7 billion Lincoln cents in 1995, a staggering number that increases the likelihood of mechanical strain, die erosion, and alignment shifts. Even a fraction of a millimeter of misalignment can create conditions ripe for doubling or mint mark repunching. The fact that only a very small percentage of these billions of coins display valuable errors underscores the rarity and desirability of authentic 1995 D error pieces. The minting pressure, the speed of production, and the physical life cycle of the dies contributed to a perfect storm of potential anomalies, making each error coin a unique artifact shaped by both machine and circumstance. Auction houses have played a significant role in elevating the 1995 D error cent to legendary status within the numismatic world. When the first high-grade double die examples surfaced in professional auctions, bidding wars erupted as collectors recognized the importance and scarcity of the coin. Prices soared far beyond early estimates, setting a precedent that would influence future sales. These auctions often draw international attention, with bidders from all over the world, some collectors, some investors, and some speculators, competing for the chance to own a piece of modern minting history. The spectacle of auctions reinforces the psychological component of coin collecting, where rarity and desirability drive prices upward as participants engage not only with the coin itself, but with the idea of owning something that others covet so intensely. Collectors who win these coins describe the experience as exhilarating, a testament to the emotional resonance these small copper-plated zinc pieces can carry. The long-term market projections for the 1995 D-error cent reflect both the coin's historical significance and the evolving landscape of numismatic investment. As more collectors worldwide become aware of U.S. coinage, particularly American-era coins, the demand for well-preserved specimens continues to rise. Coins that were once considered modern and plentiful are now being re-evaluated through the lens of rarity within specific era categories. Because the total number of high-grade 1995 D-double die or repunched mintmark cents is extremely small compared to the overall mintage, these coins remain scarce and tightly held within the collecting community. Many collectors choose not to sell their specimens, believing that values will continue to rise over the coming decades, especially as younger generations enter the hobby and seek out iconic coins from the 1990s and early 2000s. This limited supply combined with increasing demand forms the basis for stable market growth. Beyond value, the coin's appeal also lies in the mythology that develops around rare modern errors. Stories begin to circulate about unbelievable finds, such as collectors discovering a mint-state double-die example in a forgotten jar of change or in an old bank-wrapped roll purchased decades earlier. These stories fuel dreams and curiosity, drawing newcomers into the hobby and encouraging them to search their own change for hidden treasures. The belief that a life-changing coin could be sitting unnoticed in pocket change transforms these pennies from simple currency into symbols of possibility. Even though the probability of discovering a top-grade 1995 D-error cent is extremely low, the act of searching creates a sense of adventure and motivation, reinforcing the cultural impact of these coins. Some collectors specialize exclusively in error coins, viewing them not simply as anomalies, but as artifacts of human and mechanical interaction. The minting process, though highly controlled, still allows room for slight human oversight, tool wear, and mechanical fatigue, which together create the perfect environment for errors. These collectors often argue that an error coin like the 1995 D-double die carries more historical narrative than a flawless strike because it tells the story of how technology can shift unexpectedly, leaving behind a trace of that moment in time on the coin's surface. To them, the error is not a flaw. It is a signature, an imprint of the mint's internal workings captured in copper and zinc for future generations to examine. As collectors continue their search, their understanding of die state progression becomes central to valuing and appreciating the 1995 D-cent die state progression refers to how a die changes as it wears down over time, creating different visual characteristics on the coins it strikes. Early die state coins often show sharp details and crisp doubling, while late die state examples might show die cracks, softer details, or distortions that slightly obscure the doubling. Understanding these die states helps collectors identify when in the die's lifespan a particular coin was, as the story of the 1995 D. Lincoln cent with errors continues to expand across the numismatic world. Another dimension emerges that goes far beyond the physical details of the coin itself, and that is the intertwined human story behind every discovery, every trade, every auction, and every whispered rumor of an untouched hoard sitting somewhere in an attic or safety deposit box. Over time, collectors begin to realize that the value of the coin is not simply tied to its rarity or error characteristics, but to the emotional journey and cultural resonance it has created. This is especially true with modern pennies, because their value comes not from antiquity, but from rarity created by unintentional minting imperfections, which makes them feel both accessible and extraordinary at the same time. The simple idea that a coin still found in circulation could potentially hold extraordinary value fuels an entire movement of treasure hunters, hobbyists, and investors who long to experience that moment of discovery firsthand. Behind the scenes, seasoned collectors often speak about the psychological grip that certain coins hold. The 1995 D-error cent sits high on that list because it represents a perfect blend of mystery, challenge, and reward. Some collectors recount how they spent years searching through countless rolls of pennies without finding a single notable example, yet still felt compelled to continue, driven by stories of others who succeeded against the odds. This persistence reflects something deeper within human nature, a desire for rare victories, a fascination with hidden value, and the thrill of pursuing something that millions of people overlook every day. It is this emotional fuel that keeps collectors engaged long after the rational mind might have given up. The Denver Mint itself becomes a character in this ongoing narrative, a place of immense industrial power where billions of coins are born, yet where a handful of unique survivors emerge through rare mechanical accidents. Many collectors imagine the factory-like rhythm of presses striking thousands of coins per minute, the vibrating hum of machinery, the controlled chaos of mass production, and somewhere amid it all, the exact moment when a die shifts slightly, creating a doubled outline on the word liberty or a faint secondary punch on the mint mark. These imperfections, though invisible at first glance, become lasting fingerprints of a fleeting moment in minting time. Understanding this moment transforms the 1995 descent from a simple object into a time capsule that preserves the environment, tools, and human decisions present on that specific day in 1995 that over the years, experts have debated how many significant error examples actually exist, and the more that research unfolds, the more it seems that the true population is far smaller than originally believed. Many early finds were mishandled, stored improperly, or lost to environmental damage such as corrosion or scratches. Zinc core pennies, especially those minted after 1982, are notoriously prone to deterioration when exposed to moisture, making pristine examples increasingly scarce as time passes. This natural decay plays a significant role in market behavior because collectors understand that every passing year reduces the surviving population of high-grade error cents. Even coins stored in humid environments can develop spots or discoloration that lower their grade, meaning that long-term preservation depends heavily on proper storage and often the foresight to submit coins for grading before damage occurs. This decline in surviving condition helps explain why top-quality examples continue to climb in value and why the estimated collective value of all rare versions remains extremely high. Meanwhile, the continued rise of online marketplaces creates an environment where collectors from different regions, cultures, and backgrounds can interact, exchange knowledge, and trade specimens with unprecedented ease. The global reach allows stories of the 1995 descent to spread exponentially, drawing attention from collectors who previously focused on other series such as world coins or silver dollars. The sudden appearance of high-grade coins on international auction platforms often sparks bidding wars that raise visibility even further, reinforcing the perception that the coin is not just a domestic rarity, but an internationally recognized modern treasure. This worldwide attention strengthens demand and encourages new collectors to join the search, especially those intrigued by the idea that a small, ordinary-looking penny could carry enormous value due to a subtle mistake in its creation. Collectors also explore the deeper symbolism of Lincoln's cents, noting how Abraham Lincoln's image has become a cultural icon woven into American identity. The idea that a coin bearing his portrait could hold hidden value feels poetic to many, representing the enduring legacy of history, resilience, and the unexpected ways simple things can influence our lives. When collectors examine a 1995 error under magnification, they often feel a sense of connection to the past, not just to 1995, but to the long heritage of U.S. coinage stretching back over a century. The portrait of Lincoln, unchanged since 1909, becomes a silent witness to these anomalies, adding gravitas to even the smallest error coin. The merging of historical symbolism and rare minting imperfections creates an emotional depth that resonates with collectors and gives the coin a profound, nearly artistic appeal. As the numismatic community continues to uncover new information about the 1995 descent, advanced detection methods emerge, including high-resolution photography, scanning electron microscopes, and detailed overlays that compare known double die diagnostics. These technologies allow collectors to distinguish genuine errors from worn dies or mechanical doubling, ensuring that only authentic anomalies achieve recognition and value. The increasing sophistication of these detection methods raises the bar for identifying significant varieties, which in turn preserves the integrity of the market. Experts frequently publish updated research, diagrams, and even high-definition videos showing how the light reflects differently on doubled devices, helping educate the next generation of collectors and protecting them from misconceptions or counterfeit attempts. This dedication to accuracy reinforces the coin's prestige and ensures that its legacy remains grounded in verifiable numismatic science rather than mere hype. As the fascination with the 1995 D. Lincoln cent with errors continues to expand across generations, the coin begins to take on an almost mythical presence within the numismatic world, a presence shaped not only by its physical characteristics, but by the invisible threads of mystery that surround it. Collectors often describe how certain coins feel different, as if they carry a story too big for their copper-plated zinc surfaces. In the 1995 D. Error cent is one of those rare pieces that seems to accumulate legends the way ancient artifacts do. Tales of unbelievable finds, of long-forgotten bank rolls discovered in old safety boxes, of jars hidden in basements that contain untouched coins from the mid-1990s, become the fuel that keeps the myth alive. These stories spread from collector to collector, whispered at coin shows, shared in online forums, passed down from older hobbyists to younger ones. Over time, they become woven into the overall legacy of the coin, making each example feel not just like a numismatic object, but like a relic of an age when mistakes were still possible and treasure could still be found accidentally. The core of this myth is the undeniable truth that the 1995 D. Error cent represents something vanishingly rare in modern minting. A mistake that slipped through despite millions of quality control checks. Modern minting methods are precise, streamlined, and heavily monitored, making dramatic errors uncommon. But that rarity is exactly why each genuine 1995 D double die or repunched mint mark example becomes a symbol of imperfection that resisted an otherwise perfect system. There is something compelling about that idea. The notion that a coin can carry within it the evidence of a slight misalignment or a momentary lapse in die preparation that went unnoticed until millions of coins poured into circulation. This resistance to perfection becomes part of the coin's identity, transforming it into a story of survival, chance, and unpredictability. Collectors often reflect on how these coins represent the last era before minting technology changed forever. Beginning in the late 1990s and into the early 2000s, advances in laser engraving, improved hubbing processes, increased automation, and tighter quality control drastically reduced the chances of major double dies or dramatic mint mark errors. The 1995 D cent stands on the edge of this technological shift, a final echo of the earlier minting world where dies were repeatedly impressed with hubs and mint marks were punched manually, creating opportunities for small misalignments that later became prized collectibles. For many enthusiasts, this coin symbolizes the end of an era, a tangible reminder of how artistry, machinery, and human oversight once collided to produce masterpieces that were never meant to exist, but became precious precisely because they slipped past the system unnoticed. This sense of finality adds to the emotional weight the coin carries. Collectors cherish it not only for what it is, but for what it represents, a window into minting history before digital precision took over, a moment when the human element still had the power to shape the outcome of every coin. When collectors hold a 1995 D error in their hands, it is as though they can still feel the presence of the mint workers, the machinery, and the conditions that created that one imperfect die out of millions. Each faint doubling, each slightly misaligned punch, becomes a tribute to the era when minting was both art and engineering, both mechanized and human. The coin becomes a representation of the unpredictable beauty that once existed in the manufacture of everyday currency. As the years pass and more research emerges, collectors realize that studying the 1995 D cent is not simply about identifying errors, but about understanding the broader historical forces that shaped American coinage at the time. The mid-1990s were a period of economic change, increasing digital influence, and evolving consumer habits. The use of coins in everyday transactions was beginning to decline as debit cards grew more popular, and yet billions of pennies still flowed through the economy, carrying both financial and cultural weight. This paradox, a time when coinage was both heavily used and slowly becoming outdated, adds another layer of nuance to the 1995 D-cent story. It serves as a snapshot of a transitional America, where traditional currency still dominated, but the future of digital commerce was already on the horizon. In this context, the 1995 D-era penny becomes a small but powerful artifact of American life at the dawn of the digital age. Collectors often imagine the circumstances in which each era penny first entered circulation. A cashier receiving it from the mint bag, a customer receiving it as change, a child placing it in a piggy bank, or a bank wrapping it in rolls that would remain untouched for decades. These imagined journeys give each coin a narrative arc, a life story that begins at the mint and unfolds unpredictably until the moment a collector finally identifies the error. The coin's path, across hands, pockets, drawers, forgotten boxes, is part of what makes discovering one so compelling. It is the feeling of uncovering something extraordinary that has traveled through the everyday world unnoticed. Collectors often talk about how the hunt itself becomes addictive. There is something deeply human about the process of searching for hidden value in something ordinary. Coin roll hunting, in particular, becomes a ritual that blends patience, curiosity, and the quiet thrill of opening the unknown. Even if thousands of coins are examined without result, the anticipation never disappears. Every new roll carries the possibility of discovery, and that possibility alone fuels the excitement. The 1995 D-era cent amplifies this feeling because its rarity is matched by the fact that it can still appear in circulation decades after its creation. Unlike ancient coins buried underground or rare gold coins locked away in collections, as we keep unfolding the deep layers of the 1995 D1 cent coin and the legends that surround it, you begin to notice something truly fascinating about how collectors react to coins that stay hidden for decades before suddenly appearing in the spotlight. The 1995 D penny has transitioned from a simple, everyday coin into an artifact of fascination, almost a treasure that floated through the hands of millions without anyone noticing its real potential. And that long period of being ignored is exactly what makes its story feel so special, because when something sits in plain sight but carries hidden value, the moment of discovery becomes so much more powerful. Imagine holding a coin that lived its entire life being tossed in jars, dropped in cars, passed through stores, or slipped into pockets without any clue that one day someone somewhere would look at it and say this coin could be worth far more than anyone ever imagined. That sudden awakening, that slow transformation from ordinary to extraordinary, is the heart of the journey we are exploring as we go deeper into understanding the 1995 D penny with errors, odd strikes, off-centering, doubling, die cracks, and all the tiny imperfections that make it feel alive. Collectors talk about this coin in a way that almost gives it personality. And maybe that's because errors tell a story about the conditions inside the mint during the year it was made. When you see a die crack, for example, you're not just looking at a flaw, but at a moment in time when the machinery was under stress, when the metal shifted, when pressure was slightly off, when the die was reaching the end of its lifespan. And when that moment of minting stress reflects onto a coin, it becomes a snapshot of history, frozen inside the copper-plated zinc of the 1995 D-cent. That is why people love error coins. They are born from the mint's mistakes, but those mistakes create incredible rarity and uniqueness. When someone finds a coin with a dramatic crack running through Lincoln's portrait or a die break stretching across the memorial building, the excitement comes from knowing that no other coin in the world will have that exact same pattern, because every crack is unique. Every break has its own personality, and therefore every error coin becomes one of a kind. This is where the story of the 1995 D penny becomes even more interesting because collectors argue that 1995 is one of the most unpredictable years for error production. Even though the Philadelphia Mint famously produced the double die obverse in 1995, the Denver Mint also experienced its own irregularities, though they went unnoticed for years. Some people claim that the Denver facility that year had inconsistent pressure settings on certain presses, and while those claims are debated, they add yet another layer of mystery and excitement around the coin you are learning about. When the mint machines vibrate differently or press with micro variations in force, you get subtle doubling, spreading, and misalignment. And while these are small to the naked eye, they are extremely powerful from a collector's perspective because the market chases what is rare and unusual. In the 1995, D penny is full of those little quirks that collectors chased. As rumors of high-value 1995 D pennies circulated over the years, more people began checking their pocket change, more eyes examined jars that had been untouched for decades. More old collections were opened and revisited, and every time someone discovered something small like misaligned dies or weak strikes or rim errors, it added fuel to the fire that maybe this coin is far more special than earlier generations believed. That excitement eventually built a community around this coin, with online discussions, late-night videos, coin hunting live streams, and forum debates stretching for pages and pages, each one filled with collectors presenting their own theories, discoveries, and hopes. And that is what makes this part of our journey so engaging. When you chase a coin like this, you aren't just looking for metal, you're joining a living movement. You're stepping into an ongoing conversation among treasure hunters who believe there are still rare pieces out there that haven't surfaced yet, that the big discoveries are not yet complete, and that someone somewhere might still pull out a 1995 D-error penny that shocks the entire market. You start to feel the power of this idea when you realize that every time a new error coin comes to light, especially one with dramatic doubling or an exotic minting flaw, the value of the entire category increases because high-profile discoveries bring more eyes, more curiosity, and more demand. And when demand rises, prices rise. This is one of the key reasons collectors believe that some extremely rare 1995 D errors could theoretically reach values that spiral into hundreds of thousands or even millions depending on the magnitude of the error and the condition of the coin. The concept of a coin reaching 200 million or more is something that lives in the realm of myth and legend, but it is also fueled by the idea that the rarest objects in the world do not have price limits. They are priced by passion, by auction battles, by historical significance, and by the simple fact that if something exists only once, someone with great wealth may decide they must own it at any cost. The 1995 D penny continues to attract dreamers, realists, investors, and collectors because it exists at the perfect intersection of possibility and mystery. And as more people look for these coins, as more discoveries come to light, as more experts weigh in, the aura around the coin grows stronger. It becomes more than copper-plated zinc. It becomes a symbol of hidden value, of the idea that small things can carry massive worth, that everyday objects can turn into extraordinary treasures, and that you never truly know what you're holding until you take the time to look closer. As we reach the final stretch of this long, unfolding journey into the world of the 1995 D1 cent coin and all the error varieties that have brought so much curiosity and excitement to collectors around the world, it becomes clearer than ever that this coin is more than just a small piece of metal from the Denver Mint. It represents possibility, discovery, patience, hope, and the thrill of finding something valuable in a place where nobody expects it. Over the years, countless people have passed this coin between their fingers without ever noticing the tiny details that separate an ordinary penny from one that could be worth a small fortune. And that is exactly what makes the story so compelling. The treasure has never been locked away in a museum or buried underground. It has always been circulating right in front of us, hiding in the most ordinary places, waiting for the right person to take a closer look. Imagine the final moment in this journey when someone finds a coin that carries a dramatic minting error, a doubled date, a heavy die crack, a raised cut on Lincoln's head, or a massive off-center strike, something so unusual that it stops you completely. The person holds it, examines it, feels the weight of it, realizes the potential, and begins to understand why collectors across the world are obsessed with coins like this. Because the truth is that when an error coin reaches the level of rarity where only a handful exist, or even just one example, the market no longer thinks in ordinary numbers. It starts thinking in legendary amounts, in astonishing values, in auction floors filled with bidders who recognize the importance of owning the kind of object that will not appear again for decades, maybe even lifetimes. This is how mythic valuations like hundreds of millions of dollars are born. Not from metal, not from size, but from rarity, importance, and obsession. Even though we explore these dramatic values and extraordinary possibilities, what makes the 1995 D penny so enchanting is that anyone can still be the one to discover one of these rare treasures. It might be sitting in a drawer, a coffee mug filled with coins, an old piggy bank, a forgotten box in the attic, or even in the spare change you receive from a store. Every coin hunter knows that the excitement does not come only from what they find, but from the thrill of not knowing what might appear next. That thrill is one of the things that makes the coin hobby such a powerful force. It drives people to search through thousands of coins, to study every detail, to spend hours investigating tiny marks, curved lines, and subtle imperfections, because every one of those small clues could be the first step toward uncovering something truly valuable. And as this long journey comes to a close, the story of the 1995 D penny becomes a reminder that value can be hidden in plain sight. A reminder that patience and curiosity can transform an ordinary moment into an extraordinary discovery. A reminder that treasures are not always found in distant lands or deep oceans. Sometimes they are found in your own pocket, quietly waiting for someone to pay attention. The 1995 D penny teaches us that the world of coins is not just about metal. It's about history, mystery, craftsmanship, chance, and the belief that something small can carry incredible worth if you understand its story. So whether you are a seasoned collector, a new coin hunter, or simply someone curious about the hidden world of rare coins, the 1995 D-cent stands as an invitation to look closer, search deeper, and never underestimate the value of what you hold. Because any coin could be the one that surprises you. Any coin could be the one that changes your life. Any coin could be the next legendary discovery whispered about in the coin community for years to come. And with that, we end this long and detailed exploration, but the adventure never truly ends. The next rare coin, the next hidden treasure, the next unexpected fortune may be waiting just a few steps away. All it takes is curiosity, patience, and the belief that even the smallest piece of history might hold unimaginable value.